Myanmar, also known as Burma, is in Southeast Asia. It neighbors Thailand, Laos, Bangladesh, China, and India. There are many ethnic groups in the country, including Rohingya Muslims. The country gained independence from Britain in 1948. Myanmar has toggled between military and civilian leadership since 1948, though the Tatmadaw, as the country's armed forces are formally known, has remained the most powerful institution the entire time. In the late 1980s, a civilian pro-democracy movement gained strength with Suu Kyi as its leader. For her efforts, the ruling military junta placed her under house arrest in 1989. The Nobel Committee awarded her the Nobel Peace Prize in 1991 for her fight for democracy and emphasis on non-violence. Owing to the huge international pressure and in hopes of ending that economic and political isolation, Myanmar's top brass decided to take some modest steps toward a more democratic system by drafting a constitution and freeing Suu Kyi from her house arrest. The Tatmadaw spent 5 years drafting a constitution before it was accepted in 2008. The most noteworthy provision gave the military at least 25% of the seats in the legislature, no matter what. That was crucial, because no amendments to the new constitution could be passed without over 75% of lawmakers voting for them. The military, in effect, could veto any attempts to change the game. That gave Myanmar's government a window dressing of democracy. The party in power could run the day-to-day aspects of domestic and foreign policy, while never actually threatening the Tatmadaw's hold on power, who will hold the control on key ministries like defense and home affairs. The Suu Kyi-led NLD won the 2015 election, the country's first free and fair election participated by multiple parties, and formed the government, raising hopes that the country is on its way to full transition to democracy, defeating the military-backed Union Solidarity and Development Party, USDP. However, Suu Kyi's leadership wasn't all bad for the military. Most notably, she backed the Tatmadaw's 2017 campaign of mass killing and gang rape of the country's Rohingya Muslim minority and even defended the generals involved at the International Court of Justice. But she did make plenty of moves that greatly troubled the ruling generals, namely her March 2020 push to amend Myanmar's constitution and strip the military of many of its authorities. The proposed changes, like reducing the number of allocated seats for military officers in parliament, received majority support but were blocked by the Tatmadaw's veto power. Even so, passing those amendments remained a key part of Suu Kyi's and the NLD's platform. In November 2020, the nation seemingly gave them a mandate to pursue constitutional reforms after voting to give the NLD 396 of 476 seats in parliament, trouncing the military-backed party. The military refused to accept the results of the vote, calling it as fraud, and parliament was scheduled to hold its first session since the country's November 8 elections, in which the National League for Democracy, Myanmar's leading civilian party, won 83% of the body's available seats. This would mean that Parliament would endorse the elections and approve the next government. For some in uniform, that posed an existential threat to the Tatmadaw's authority, and something needed to be done about it. The possibility of the coup emerged after the military, which had tried in the country's Supreme Court to argue that the election results were fraudulent, threatened to take action and surrounded the Houses of Parliament with soldiers. On February 1, the Myanmar military grabbed power in a coup, ahead of a scheduled meeting of the country's newly elected parliament. State of emergency has been declared, transferring all powers to Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing. Aung San Suu Kyi, who led the National League for Democracy, NLD, to a landslide win in the 2020 elections and the de facto leader of the ousted government, was detained. The military detained other leaders of the National League for Democracy and other civilian officials, President U Win Myint, cabinet ministers, the chief ministers of several regions, opposition politicians, writers and activists in the capital Naypyidaw. She is under house arrest and has appeared in court via video link. has been charged with possessing illegal walkie-talkies, violating COVID-19 restrictions during last year's election campaign and publishing information that may cause fear or alarm. Military Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing has taken power. He has long wielded significant political influence, successfully maintaining the power of the Tatmadaw, Myanmar's military, even as the country moved towards democracy. The move prolongs the general's power even though he is supposed to age out as army chief this summer. His patronage network, centered on lucrative family businesses, could well have been undermined by his retirement, especially had he not been able to secure a clean exit. Justifying the coup, the military cited a section of the constitution that said in the event of a state of emergency, as is the case now, the commander-in-chief has the constitutional right to take over and exercise state sovereign power. Weeks of demonstrations and a deadly crackdown have roiled the nation since February 1 as the coup brought back full military rule following years of quasi-democracy. Telephone and internet access was suspended in major cities. The stock market and commercial banks were closed, and long lines were seen outside ATMs in some places. Global responses. USA. The USA president threatened to reimpose sanctions on Myanmar following a coup by the country's military leaders and called for a concerted international response to press them to relinquish power. India. India released statement calling for de-escalation and the release of those detained. However, cutting off from the Myanmar military is not a viable option as India has significant economic and strategic interests in Myanmar and its neighborhood. ASEAN divided. ASEAN's current chair, Brunei, called for dialogue among parties, reconciliation and the return to normalcy. Expect little to be done as ASEAN member states are split in their reactions. Singapore, Malaysia and Indonesia expressed concern, while Thailand, Cambodia, and the Philippines noted that this was Myanmar's internal affair. United Nations. The UN Security Council met on Tuesday but failed to agree on a joint statement after China did not support it. China has the power of veto as one of 5 permanent members of the Council. Ahead of the talks, the UN Special Envoy on Myanmar, Christine Schraner, strongly condemned the military takeover which came after the army refused to accept the outcome of general elections held in November. China blocked a UN Security Council statement condemning the coup. Beijing, which has previously opposed international intervention in Myanmar, urged all sides to resolve differences. But chances of the Tatmadaw backing down anytime soon are small, experts say, meaning the new US administration will likely have to reimpose financial penalties on Myanmar. That would essentially bring the whole situation back to the pre-2011 era, with the pro-democracy movement weakened and its leaders detained, and the military in full control of the country but under international sanctions. It's yet another unfortunate turn in Myanmar's long road to democracy.